There's a bunch of conversation going on about advocating for feeding tubes, and I just wanted to give some nuance in my opinion on this topic. I've experienced both sides of this argument. On one hand, I've been the patient desperately advocating for nutrition and only receiving it once I was at a really unstable point. On the other hand, I also understand being a person with a feeding tube online and getting really inappropriate questions about how I got a feeding tube. I don't think it's okay going around asking people for their medical information, how much weight they had to lose, things like that. This is partially because it can be really traumatizing for those people, but mostly it actually doesn't tell you anything. The weight that someone was or the weight that someone lost doesn't mean anything if taken out of context. Malnutrition is assessed using a lot of factors, and both weight loss and your current weight is only relevant if it's in relation to your baseline. And you do not need to be underweight to be malnourished. You do not need to be at any specific weight to require tube feeding. So those questions are not only invasive to privacy, but they're also not gonna help you if you're trying to advocate for any forms of stable nutrition. On the other side, in an ideal world, we do not have to advocate for stable nutrition when everything else fails. Patients with especially GI motility issues get taken seriously before they reach a point where they need other interventions and might require a lot more to stabilize. And I think many people who are tube fed will agree that they think that their intervention for artificial nutrition was too late. And so many of us had to advocate endlessly and pretty much be on our deathbeds to receive the nutrition that we deserve. I do think we also have a responsibility to educate our peers who struggle with the same conditions on the best way to advocate for stable nutrition, whatever that might mean for them. And by that, I don't mean how to get a feeding tube, but give our community the right resources to be able to advocate for ourselves for our individual needs.